when someone ends up in a complex chronic situation, symptoms nobody truly understands, medical tests that explain very little, solutions that never seem to last over time, a real medical dead end slowly begins to appear. And then everyone starts searching for the solution. But very often, the problem is not a lack of information. The real problem is the way we interpret what is happening inside the body. Because today, the body is often viewed as a malfunctioning system, when in reality, it's an extremely intelligent system, but its signals are rarely interpreted correctly. The human body is the most intelligent machine on this planet. It's as if all of us own a Ferrari. The problem isn't that the Ferrari is defective. The problem is that nobody ever taught us how to drive, how to maintain, or how to understand the warning lights on the dashboard. People believe that even though this machine is extraordinary, it should function correctly on its own. So for years, people keep moving forward while working against the body instead of working with it. Because deep down, we can all observe this in daily life. When we cut ourselves, the body repairs. When we break a bone, the body rebuilds. So we clearly see that the body naturally creates health. The real question is not, can the body repair itself? The real question is, are we truly giving the body the right conditions to do it? And this is exactly why when someone comes to me, I never start by searching for a solution. I start by trying to understand. I don't only look at diagnosis. Crohn's disease, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, rheumatoid arthritis. For me, these are labels. What truly interests me is the body reactions, the symptoms, their chronology, how the situation developed over time, because the body always tells a story, and what is happening to you is never random. So I try to understand, is the body eliminating properly? Is circulation flowing or stagnating? Has this overload been building up for years? Does the body still have enough resources to do the work? I also try to understand where the main problem is located. In the blood, in the lymph, around the cells, or deeper inside the cells. I also try to identify what type of overload dominates. Are we mainly dealing with glues, mucus, stagnation, congestion, or with crystals, inflammation, burning sensations, pain? Because the body doesn't become overloaded in the same way for everyone. Then I look at the four major axes of health: nutrition, elimination, movement, and the nervous system. Because as we saw earlier, a deep imbalance never comes from only one axis. I also try to understand where the body currently stands in terms of vitality. Is it still reacting strongly, or is it already becoming exhausted? Because the strategy can't be the same for an exhausted body and for a body that still wants to fight. And I also look at what the person has already implemented, what helped, what changed nothing, what made things worse, and what is still missing in the overall strategy. Because a body in a complex chronic situation is never just about finding the right pill, whether pharmaceutical or natural. It's a question of global coherence. And most importantly, I try to identify the main problem, the central point, the cornerstone, because many approaches try to attack every problem at the same time. So people go in every direction and very little changes. It's much more effective to identify the general, the deepest central problem, because when you cut off the general's head, the entire army often starts collapsing behind it. And very often, when the main problem begins regulating, many other symptoms naturally begin improving as well. Once this analysis is done, we can finally build a real strategy. And this strategy usually relies on two major phases. First, put out the fire, handle the emergency, calm the system, reduce overload, give the body breathing room again. Very often, this is the first 3 months, because a body in survival mode can't improve if the main problem is not reduced quickly. Then we progressively rebuild the body. We repair, we restart functions, we improve circulation, we rebalance the system, and most importantly, we progressively help the body recover a more normal level of functioning. And this is exactly where the major axes I work on come into play: reducing overload and calming the body, repairing the intestinal lining, restarting digestive function, reactivating the elimination organs, helping waste move upward appropriately, getting the body moving again to improve circulation, calming the nervous system to free up energy, and rebalancing the microbiome when it's necessary. But these axes are not used at the same moment, with the same intensity, or in the same way for every person. And after that, the most important work begins, observing the body's reactions, because theory and real life are two different things. We always begin with a theoretical protocol, and then we adjust. We listen to the body, we work with it, because the goal is not to force the body. The goal is to restore the right conditions so the body can do what it already knows how to do. And personally, I believe we are reaching a turning point in the way we understand health. For a very long time, the dominant vision was mostly one symptom equals something to suppress, as if the body were constantly making mistakes. But the more experience I gain, the more I believe that the future of health will mainly be about understanding the body better, understanding the body's adaptation capacity, and understanding the conditions it needs to function properly. This doesn't mean rejecting conventional medicine. Conventional medicine is essential in many situations, but in my opinion, not every situation requires the same response. A body that still produces acute reactions is often a body that is still trying to adapt. A chronic situation often requires deep work on the body and lifestyle. And when the body reaches a much more degenerative stage, conventional medicine often becomes essential to support function the body can no longer manage on its own. Because at that point, the body has gone too far. So for me, the true medicine of the future is not fighting against the body, it's learning to understand its logic and finally work with it. And the ultimate purpose of my approach is not for people to depend on me their entire lives just to maintain their health. Quite the opposite. My goal is for people to finally understand their body, its strength, its weaknesses, how it functions. And once the house has been rebuilt, they can maintain it well and keep their health over time. And this is also why my approach is not for everyone, because it requires people to understand, to observe, to adapt, to deeply change certain habits, and most importantly, to work with the body instead of fighting against it. Because deep down, your body is not malfunctioning. It's simply trying to survive, to adapt, and to send signals that very few people still know how to interpret today. And once we finally begin understanding its logic, everything changes.